Does this look familiar? Or this? Or maybe even this? This isn't exactly a new phenomenon. Watch. They're gonna pick up their phones.
Did you know the average person spends 4 years of his life looking down at his cell phone? Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch. But it's no wonder in a world filled with iMacs, iPads, and iPhones. So many eyes, so many selfies, not enough us's and we's. See, technology has made us more selfish and separate than ever. Cause while it claims to connect us, connection has gotten no better. And let me express first, Mr. Zuckerberg, not to be rude, but you should reclassify Facebook to what it is, an anti-social network. Cause while we may have big friend lists, so many of us are friendless all alone. Cause friendships are more broken than the screens on our very phones. We sit at home on our computers measuring self-worth by numbers of followers and likes. Ignoring those who actually love us, it seems we'd rather write an angry post and talk to someone who might actually hug us. Am I bugging? You tell me, cause I asked a friend the other day, let's meet up face to face. They said, alright, what time you wanna Skype? I responded with OMG, SRS, and then a bunch of SMHs and realized, what about me? Do I not have the patience to have conversation without abbreviation? This is the generation of media overstimulation. Chats have been reduced to snaps. The news is 140 characters. Videos are 6 seconds at high speed. And you wonder why ADD is on the rise faster than 4G LTE. But get a load of this.
Everybody also knows the first price of the first Apple computer was $666.66. It came to them in a dream. There was a muse that brought it to them. Same thing with the Nazis, with their Vril society, where they would summon demons and get information that allowed them to build things that had never been seen before. We entered World War II using planes with propellers, while the Nazis were using jets, some sort of technology that had never been seen before. And it's no secret that all the people in high places, NASA's scientists, computer scientists, all the way up to the D-Wave, they are communicating with the other side. That's why they use all the symbolism. That's why they use things like the D-Wave computer. If you followed me for any length of time, you know that I used to do a weekly show with Anthony Patch, someone that studied CERN and all the white papers associated with it. But on my show, I was one of the first to actually describe D-Wave as not a computer at all, simply an interdimensional communication device. They use CERN to connect to the other side and get information from fallen angels and other entities that are actually convincing humanity to build their own demise. And that's exactly what they're doing. D-Wave isn't a computer at all. It's simply a Ouija board on steroids, and that's a fact. A Ouija board on steroids. That's all this thing is. It's a hardline telephone to the other side. That's why when they first hired computer guys to help them build it, they had to let go of everybody and they had to bring in a specialized team. That's also why they use only in-house. They don't use outside vendors for anything because they don't want computer people looking at this machine and understanding what I'm telling you right now. D-Wave is nothing more than a telephone. But I'm getting off topic here. Back to Apple. Apple has always been known for their secrecy. Apple's company has been called, Apple is known for their secrecy. Their company is called a wall of secrecy.
I don't fault Apple for its culture of secrecy, and I think one of the fascinating debates that corporations should be having is, do we need to do a better job of shutting up? Apple's perhaps the most secretive company anywhere. It's every bit as secretive as an intelligence agency, so think about the CIA. Secretive as an intelligence agency, so think about the CIA. agency, so think about the CIA. Apple considers everything to be a secret. Now, every company keeps secrets. No company wants its product plans to get out to the public or to its competitors. Apple shuts its own employees out of what's going on. Your job at Apple is your job. Otherwise, you mind your own business. You don't poke your nose into what he's doing or what she's doing. The only people who know everything that's going on at Apple are the people at the very top. And so many Apple employees will get together in one of the cafeterias at Apple on the day of a major keynote to watch the keynote, whether it was Steve Jobs before he died or Tim Cook more recently, to find out what the products are going to be that are released. Even if they worked on those products, they may know a piece of it, but only their piece. New employee orientation at Apple, which happens every Monday. One of the facets of orientation is the security briefing. And a security official from Apple sits down with the new employees and says to them, we take secrets very seriously here. If you divulge the secrets that you learn at Apple, you'll be fired. And what this has done is created a culture of fear, but also a culture of discipline. This manifests itself in very strange ways socially. So manifests itself in very spoken to people who play in a regular poker game with Apple employees. And when the subject of Apple comes up at the poker table, the people who work at Apple shut up. They change the subject. Valley engineers are famous for wanting to talk about their work and trade ideas about what's going on at their companies. Apple engineers are largely separate from the rest of the Valley. Some people don't like that. Those people don't last at Apple. Some people want to talk about what they're doing with their friends or with colleagues at other companies. Those people don't last at Apple.
Now we're going to switch gears and I'm going to bring you over to the Phoenix. The Phoenix holds an enormous spot in Freemasonry, so much so that you will find it on the back of your dollar bill. We saw it at the Olympics. The Freemasons love their Phoenix. The Phoenix has been used throughout history and ties back to the Illuminati, the elites, the powers that be, and Freemasons specifically.
The phoenix is a mythical, sacred firebird that can be found in the mythologies of the Persians, Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, Chinese, and Japanese. It is a fire spirit with a colorful plumage and a tail of gold and scarlet. Some legends indicate a tail of purple, blue, and green. This fabulous bird was associated with the worship of the sun and the Egyptian sun god Ra. Only one phoenix existed at any time, and it was very long-lived. In its twilight hour, the phoenix fashioned a nest of aromatic boughs and spices. Then it set fire to the nest and was consumed in the flames. A new phoenix miraculously sprang from the pyre. Then, after embalming its father's ashes in an egg of myrrh, it flew to the city of the sun, Heliopolis, in Egypt, where it deposited the ashes onto the altar in the temple of the Egyptian sun god Ra. The Greek historian Herodotus is credited with introducing the legend of the phoenix into Western culture after his travels in Egypt. In his masterpiece, The Histories, in the 5th century BCE, Herodotus tells of many new fantastic beasts, including the crocodile, the hippopotamus, and the phoenix. In later antiquity, the phoenix was compared to the undying Rome, and it appears on the coinage of the late Roman Empire as the symbol of the eternal city. It was also widely interpreted as an allegory of resurrection and life after death. In Chinese mythology, the phoenix, Feng Huang, is the symbol of high virtue and grace and of power and prosperity. It represents the union of yin and yang. It was thought to be a gentle creature, alighting so gently that it crushed nothing and ate only dewdrops. Images of the phoenix appeared throughout China for well over 7,000 years, often in jade and originally on good luck totems. The Ho-U is the Japanese phoenix, the Ho being the male bird and the U being the female bird. Introduced to Japan in the Asuka period during the mid-6th to mid-7th century CE, it greatly resembles the Chinese phoenix in appearance. It was also adopted as a symbol of the royal family, particularly the Empress. It is supposed to represent the sun, justice, fidelity, and obedience. Nowadays, the phoenix is a very popular symbol used in literature, all fields of arts, movies, band names, heraldry, and even manga stories. As usual, we are closing with a good piece of advice. If you are dying, don't set fire to your house.
So now you may be asking yourself, why am I showing you the Phoenix, Freemasonry, the history of the Phoenix, how far it goes back, how it relates to the sun, how it relates to the esoteric, and how almost every single civilization worshipped it in one way or another. And why does that tie in with Apple? Well, stand by. Apple is launching its new iPhone X, the Phoenix. You get it? The Phoenix. Now, a lot of people could say, well, that's just Apple being clever because of they fell behind. The Apple 6, the iPhone 7, they weren't big. People didn't love them the way they thought they would. So they decided to make an iPhone X. It's wall-to-wall glass, and of course, the price is $999. It couldn't have been $949 or $1,001. It had to be 666 inverted. Now, if you know anything about the esoteric nature of these people, everything is forward, everything is backwards. And I believe it was Aleister Crowley that recommended people learn how to do everything forward, backward, and upside down. Because God created everything and the devil does everything in reverse. He cannot create, he can only duplicate at any rate. Apple's new iPhone, to me, I still have an old iPhone 5S, a very old phone, and I still use it because I don't want a new scrying mirror. I don't want a new method to allow these things into my life. And I believe that's exactly what these things are. These will allow these will allow entities to enter into your subconsciousness. Maybe that's why people are so stuck to their cell phones. It's absolutely unbelievable to me. Apple being associated with the CIA, intelligence, the Garden of Eden, demonic activity, and their never-ending use of things like 666, 999, as above, so below, the Phoenix Rising. I would recommend to everybody, throw away your smartphone, 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 throw away your smartphone. And for instance, the Black Mirror is a video on Netflix, a movie or whatever you call it. And it literally shows exactly what their intentions are. And it's exactly what I'm telling you now. Throw away your smartphones.